Hello and welcome to our video today. We're going to look at could, should, and would, and when they should be used. So firstly, if you're giving advice, someone asks you for advice, you will probably use should in your answer. It's your recommendation. So for example, I've had a really bad headache for the past week. And the answer, that's not good. You should go to the doctor. This is much stronger than saying you could go to the doctor. If you say could, it means it's one of several choices you could make. It's a suggestion. If you say should, it means this is the one you should do, a recommendation. I want to make more friends, but I don't know how. Answer, first of all, you shouldn't spend so much time on the computer. You should go out and join a club or start playing a sport instead. These are recommendations. I had a fight with my best friend. What should I do? I think you should call her and tell her you're sorry. A recommendation. Could is the past tense of the verb can, meaning to be able to. So, for example, when I was a child, I couldn't speak English, past tense. Now I can, present tense. When I was younger, I could run a kilometer in 5 minutes. Now it takes me 20 minutes. Yesterday I couldn't find my wallet anywhere, but this morning I found it. So, past tense of can. Could is also used for suggestions for the future. So here's a situation maybe in an office. Somebody says, do you have any ideas for our publicity campaign? Somebody answers, yes, I've got a few ideas. We could put advertisements on Facebook and Google. We could also give out pamphlets in our neighborhood. Maybe so P could even contact local TV stations. These are all suggestions, not recommendations. So this is not saying what the best choice is, like when you should. This is listing different choices you could make. It's not saying which one you should choose. It's a suggestion. We could put advertisements on Facebook. So now we're going to talk about making polite requests. And you have a few choices. A request is a way of giving an order. An order is like open the window, imperative. It's a little bit unfriendly, but a more friendly way is a request. Even though it's not an order, it would be unusual to not do it. You would need to give a reason why not. So, would you open the window? That's very formal. Can you open the window? Present tense. That's very casual. Could you open the window? That's in the past tense. It's fairly formal. So, even though one is present and one is past, they both mean, can you do it now? You would almost certainly say please with could or would. It would be weird to choose a formal way to ask you to do something and then not to say please. In an informal situation between friends, you might use can and drop the please. Please can go at the start, in the middle, or at the end of the request. So, please can you open the window at the start? Can you please open the window in the middle? Can you open the window, please, at the end? Would is for imaginary or unlikely situations. It's basically the second conditional if you refer back to when we looked at conditionals. If I was the president of my school, I would make a lot of changes. So you're not really the president, that's an imaginary situation. If people were more generous, there wouldn't be so much poverty in the world. Again, if people were more generous, that's an imaginary situation. It's not real. She would travel around the world if she had more money. She hasn't got the money, so this is, again, an imaginary situation. Would is often shortened to apostrophe D. So if I was the president of my school, I apostrophe D, make a lot of changes. Don't use to after could or should and would. So you shouldn't to smoke? No, you shouldn't smoke. I would to buy a new car if I had the money? No, I would buy a new car if I had the money. Okay, you try. Which one is not correct? Nosusawa, something, you come over here for a minute. I need to talk to you. So you can choose could or should or would or can. And I'm going to give you the answer now. The answer is the answer is should. That is the one that is not correct. All the others are okay. Okay, second question. Which one is correct? I something call you last night because I left my cell phone at home. So the choices here are all negatives. Couldn't, shouldn't, or wouldn't. And the answer, I couldn't. I was not able to call you last night because I left my cell phone at home. Which two are correct? When your father was a boy, he something played soccer for 5 hours straight without getting tired. And the answers, firstly, he could play soccer for 5 hours straight without getting tired. This means he was able to do it. Physically, he was strong enough. Or, when your father was a boy, he would play soccer for 5 hours straight without getting tired. This means he was in the habit of doing that. He often played for 5 hours. Okay, next one. Which two are correct? In my opinion, you something dye your hair blonde. You'd look great. And the answer for that one, again, you got two. In my opinion, you could dye your hair blonde. That would look great. That is a suggestion. Or, in my opinion, you should dye your hair blonde. You'd look great. That is a recommendation, saying this is what I think you should do. Okay, which one is correct? You really something stay up late. I don't think you are getting enough sleep. And the answer for this one, you shouldn't stay up late. I don't think you're getting enough sleep. Which one is correct? I something touch that equipment if I were you. It looks dangerous. So couldn't or shouldn't or wouldn't. And the answer, I wouldn't touch that equipment if I were you. It looks dangerous. Which one is correct? Something I buy a shirt or a hat for my father's birthday. What do you think? So could I buy a shirt or a hat? Should I buy a shirt or a hat? Or would I buy a shirt or a hat for my father's birthday? And the answer for this one is should. You are looking for the person's recommendation, so should rather than could. Which one is correct? Stramu Joanna, something you like some chicken. Could or should or would. And the answer is would. Stramu Joanna, would you like some chicken? a request. Okay, which one is correct? If it rains on the date of the wedding, we something have the ceremony inside the church instead of in the park. Could or should or would? Your call. And the answer, again, we have two. It's could if you're just making a suggestion, one possibility. It's should if you're making a recommendation and say this is the one we should choose. Okay, correct or not correct? We would go to the waterfall on Saturday. And the answer, not correct. You should say we should go to the waterfall on Saturday if it's a recommendation, or we could go to the waterfall on Saturday if it's a suggestion. After you graduate, you could teach at TMK for a year, or you could work for an organization, but what you should really do is travel around the world. So you've got three things in there. Could teach, could work for an organization, or should travel. Correct or not correct? And the answer is correct. The doctor told me I could take this medicine 2 times a day. And that is not correct. Should be the doctor told me I should take this medicine 2 times a day. The doctor will tell you what to do. He won't make a suggestion. So if he was making a suggestion, he would use could, but that's not what doctors do. You're so good at making cakes. Can you please make me one for my flatmate's birthday next Friday? And the answer for that one is correct. You would not get married until you are at least 30 years old. And the answer for that one, not correct, should be you should not get married until you are at least 30 years old. You're making a recommendation. I asked my teacher if I should leave early. That one is not correct. Should be I asked my teacher if I could leave early. If you have finished eating, can I take your plate away? And that one is correct. Should you come to the movies with me on Friday? And that one, not correct. Could or can or would work. It's basically a request. So, could you come to the movies with me? Can you come to the movies with me? Would you come to the movies with me? Are all fine. The only one you can't use is should. It's getting late. I should leave. That one, correct. When I was 6 years old, I couldn't count past 100. And that is correct. And this is the end, my friend. See you next time.